You can order the rear brake caliper used in the video on the CarParts.com website via the link in the description. Turn off your vehicle's ignition. Set the parking brake. Pull the hood release handle and open the hood. Open the brake fluid reservoir. Loosen the wheel lug nuts on the rear wheels. Lift the rear of your vehicle. We strongly suggest watching our video on how to jack your Ram 1500 safely before carrying out this step. Place the vehicle on the jack stands. In order to change the rear brake calipers on your vehicle, you will need to take the wheels off to have full access. Don't forget to put the wheels under the vehicle. Insert a flathead screwdriver to the outer extremity of the oblong hole located on the front of the brake caliper. Lift it off using the screwdriver as a lever by pulling it towards you. This will cause the piston to retract slightly so that the caliper can be removed more easily for the next steps. Using a ratchet and a 15mm socket, unscrew the banjo screw connecting the hose to the caliper. Hey, it's Alex from CarParts.com. If you enjoyed this video and want to support us, like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, back to work. With a ratchet and a 10mm socket, unscrew the slide pins. Tip: attach a piece of electrical cable or a hook to one of the strut spring coils. You can now remove the brake caliper and hang it on the previously installed hook. Remove the brake pads by prying them out with a flathead screwdriver. Using a socket wrench and a 21mm socket, unscrew the two holding screws on the caliper mount. Depending on the state of the nuts on the caliper mount, it may be necessary to use a hammer to loosen them. Remove the caliper mount. In our case, we took advantage of this operation to change the brake discs and pads. To do so, we recommend watching our video, How to Replace the Rear Brakes Dodge Ram 1500. Using a brake windback tool, press the piston into the caliper. This step is essential when installing the new pads, but it also allows you to remove brake fluid contained in the caliper. In this case, we're replacing the caliper because the piston is extremely corroded and is not functioning properly. Place a container to collect the fluid under the caliper, since the brake fluid may leak out. Here's a tip. You can limit the amount of brake fluid leakage by clamping the brake hose with a brake hose clamp. You can now finish unscrewing the banjo screw. Next, separate the brake hose from the caliper. If you are not replacing the hose, carefully brush the surface where the hose and caliper make contact using a wire brush or sandpaper. Then rinse with brake cleaner. You can order the rear brake caliper used in the video on the CarParts.com website via the link in the description. Get the new caliper assembly. Then unscrew the slide pins to separate the mount from the caliper. Grab the new seals and the new banjo screw. Install all of them on the hose. Grab the brake caliper. Screw the banjo screw that connects the brake hose to the caliper back on until it makes contact. Remove the brake hose clamp. Then put the caliper back in place on the hook. If you want to know which tools and parts we use in this video, just check the description and you'll find everything you need. Put the disc back in place. Then put the retainer back in place. Take the new caliper mount. Reassemble the caliper mount by screwing first by hand, then with a socket wrench and a 21mm socket to lock them in place. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. CarParts.com also recommends replacing the anti-rattle clips with new ones. Place the new anti-rattle clips on the caliper mount. Grab the new pads and lightly coat the ends with copper grease to help them slide more easily. Insert the new pads into the caliper mount by sliding them in. Take the caliper. Put the brake caliper back in place and screw in the slide pins, by hand at first. Screw them in using a socket wrench and a 13mm socket. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Finish tightening the banjo screw with a torque wrench. When replacing a brake caliper, you need to bleed the brake fluid system to remove air from the system. To do this, we recommend watching our video, How to Bleed the Dodge Ram 1500 Brake Fluid System. In case you adjusted the brake shoes to remove the disc, set the mechanism back until there is a slight friction between the brake shoes and the disc. Put the shutter cover back on. After bleeding, remember to clean the caliper disc assembly with brake cleaner. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. Put the car back on the ground and block the wheels properly. Don't forget to screw the brake fluid cap back on before starting the car. Attention! Before using your vehicle again, start your car and pump the brake pedal a few times to push the brake pads together again. Try to drive smoothly and avoid sudden braking for the first 30 miles or so to avoid glazing the new pads. Operation complete.